Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Stephanie Landon, who is here on behalf of RadNet, and she's going to tell us about a brand new podcast that they've started, and it is going very well, I hear. Well, Stephanie, thank you, and welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, Paul Colacchio is our connection with you guys, and he always just talks about how great everybody is at RadNet, and I've met so many doctors and staff that I would have to agree. But this is our first time sitting down. But you've been at RadNet for like 11 years. So how come I've never met you before?
Yes. Well, I'm sort of behind the scenes. I've been writing content for RadNet and doing research for, all that time. So sort of like under the radar.
Well, yeah. But then before we came on, you told me that you actually have a degree in journalism. So
I have a background. Yes.
So you have a background. Okay. So you have
Yeah.
a background in journalism, but nonetheless, you've been writing and you've been doing some research. So how did you bring all that to a podcast?
Well, in the marketing department, which is where I work with Paul, we sort of were trying to come up with a way to connect with our patients and providers, and in a more, in a stronger way, I would say. So, and one of the core missions of RadNet really is to provide, in addition to providing quality imaging services to our patients, we want to inform and educate people, because we really do believe that a more informed patient will make healthier choices.
Right. Right. No, and that makes a lot of sense. Now, like I mentioned, we've been interviewing many of the doctors and staff throughout the years here at Laguna Woods Village, Village Television. Yet I get people who are sitting in the waiting room at RadNet Imaging, and they will text me and said, "We thought you were in the room," because they see me on the TV.
Right.
So you are already doing some great work where you're communicating with your patients. So why specifically a podcast instead of not another TV show?
Well, I do think that a podcast is just another medium that's become much more prevalent. And so it really provides another way to connect with people, and in a different way also. I think that it provides us a way to sort of like dig a little deeper into content, and have, guests. It's on the, it's by the phone, so we can really kind of talk to people and really, really dive into some really interesting topics.
Well, absolutely. And, let's talk about some of those topics. So tell me about your latest podcast.
So the one that we just it's a two-parter. So we're editing now the second part, and the first part has launched, and that one is on your brain, your amazing brain.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had some really great guests, which is why we had to split it up, because we had so many guests. Mm-hmm. And one of the things about our podcasts is that I try to sort of put them together in a way where we have a topic and we look at it from every possible angle. So from a clinical angle, from a physician's standpoint, from a patient, someone who actually experienced it, psychologically, like every way you can kind of come at a topic so that, you can really kind of get a handle on what it is. So this current episode is on the brain, and we spoke to a bunch of people who experienced a lot of different brain things, from like trigeminal neuralgia to stroke to temporary amnesia. Mm-hmm. And this episode was really exciting because we spoke to Jeff Probst, who hosts Survivor. He had a really crazy experience that he shared with us. And then also from the rock band Foo Fighters, we have the bass guitarist Nate Mendel, who also shared a story about something that he experienced. So, and then, we have Dr. Susie Bash, who is the director of neuroradiology for RadNet. And she's fabulous. So it really, it's a really cool, interesting episode. So
I like that. And like you said, it's a different medium, so people can listen in wherever they are. It doesn't necessarily mean they have to be at home. They could be in their car. So you're right. You can do a little bit more, and people don't have to visually watch any of it. They can just listen. Yeah. And yes, Dr. Susie Bash is amazing. Yes. We recently had her on our show this day. Right. And also she and Lawrence sat down with us, and we had a full half hour with them. So you're
Right.
right.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
They're so good at what they do, and they really make
Mhm.
it very simple and easy to understand.
Yes. Yes. So
Which
they,
we're going to reach a lot of people
yeah,
with.
a very tangible clinical aspect to what we're talking about.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Now,
Mhm.
what are some of the ones that you look for in the future? Like, what are some other things you're going to touch
So the
on?
one that the upcoming, after we wrap the brain episode, we are going to, the next episode is going to be on immunotherapy, which is really very cool and very exciting. You know, it's sort of like the next wave in treatment of disease, which is where, you know, doctors are able to use your own cells, your own immune system to fight various diseases, including cancer. So I have a couple of doctors who are actually implementing it, who we're going to talk to. And so I think that's going to be a really fascinating episode. And, you know, other episodes coming up, we're going to do something on bone health and breast health. I have that one coming up. And genetics. We're going to do one on genes, gene testing. What, you know, we want to sort of dig into like why certain groups are more prone to specific diseases, and just kind of like dig into that a little bit. So
yeah, great.
Yeah.
It sounds exactly like my TV show, but it's on the radio. Because we do exactly what you do. I mean, but of course it's here for the village, and
Right.
a lot of what you're saying is immunotherapy, precision medicine,
Right.
genetics. We talk a ton to many of the geneticists out there who have been in immunology,
Right.
because of the whole vaccines and things like that. So yeah, there's a world of information out there we'll be able to cover no matter what. So
yeah,
sounds awesome, and congratulations to you.
Thank you so much. It's super fun. And you know, and I learn a lot too. You know, I'm not a doctor, right? I just, you know, I've been doing research and writing about this stuff for a long time, so I have some of the lingo, but I'm not a doctor. So I think that one of the things about this podcast is that it's not super clinical, and we're not lecturing. We're coming at it in a very sort of tangible, digestible way. And I'm kind of learning and experiencing it with the listener in a sense. So I think that kind of makes it, you know, it makes it more of a shared experience.
Right. Well, it sounds awesome. Now, if someone wants to listen to it, how do they do that?
Well, it's the podcast is available wherever you download your podcast. So, you know, Spotify, Apple, everywhere, any platform. But you can also, the easy way is to just go to our website, which is www.yourbodyshow.com. And you can access it that way also.
Well, perfect. Well, thank you so much, Stephanie. It was very nice to chat with you.
You too. Thank you so much. It was great. Thank you.
You're welcome. And we'll talk to you again.
Yes. Thank you. Awesome.
And we'll be right back after this.